What's up, folks? It's your girl Lisa with a Z, and it is another episode. And we have a great guest today. He is the smoothest voice in combat sports here in Florida. Please welcome Matt Graifer to the Lisa with a Z podcast. So what's up today, Matt? I'm so glad that you are on the show today, looking cool with that beanie on, repping K-Fab.
I'm just trying to cover up how sweaty I am. I was outside running this morning. I don't work out anywhere near as much as I should. Usually my schedule doesn't allow for it, but I don't really have those excuses in the summer. So just trying to step it up. And so I'm not suited and booted yet. I got to get into the fancy clothes a little bit later today. So I figured I'd at least represent some cool brands and all that, and sit down and have a chat with you here this morning.
Nice, thank you. So what event are you going to today?
So actually, it's a police athletic league boxing tournament, a youth boxing tournament here in Palm Coast, where I live. The Flagler Sheriff's pal is putting it on, and Rick, who runs Lions Pride Boxing here in town, he's the one kind of helping, along with Barry Stewart, who's a big name in Florida pal. He actually was in the Marine Corps with my father. We grew up in New Jersey. My dad served with him, and they spent time in Hawaii, and he lives here in the town I live in. So he and I have gotten connected over the years, and he's given me the bulk of my boxing experience as a ring announcer. So always good to get to work with him and those guys over there, and establish more relationships in my own community so that we can do some good work. But I think we've got like 25 fights tonight, or I don't even think we're allowed to call them fights. With kids, it's like different. You're not allowed to say fights.
Exhibition, maybe.
Yeah, well, it's all bouts. It's all bouts. So I have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
watch my nomenclature
Verbiage.
as I kind of
Yeah.
fly off the cuff tonight.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad for you. I'm excited that you're gonna have that event tonight. I'll be at Submission Grappling Series tonight. Just going as a fan today. It's been a minute. Sometimes I do like working the media stuff, but sometimes I like just being a spectator and enjoying the sport and enjoying the fight, supporting the fighters. So that's what I'm gonna do today. And I obviously have a lot of friends on the card, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
be
there's
out
a lot
there.
of great athletes on there. I mean, a
Yeah.
lot of big names here in the Florida fight scene are there, and a lot of them don't usually do grappling bouts like that. So it'd be a little different for everybody. It might get interesting. You never know.
You know what? And that's the thing about it. It's great that you get these promotions that are, willing to not only give the athletes a platform to show off their skills, but I think that this promotion has potential of growth, and it can travel from not only it can, travel to different states. And that's probably, the bigger picture to get them moving to other states, because I think it does have potential for sure. Great card. I'm looking forward to it. You can catch footage on my gram.
Uh-huh. I'll be watching in between some of my bouts tonight. I'll be looking to see what's happening over there. But I think all
Yeah,
those guys are looking to expand. I don't know if you saw the other day, but Richard Cox wrote,
yeah, I
and he
did.
had kind of confided in me previously, but now that he put it out there, but he's bringing combat night up to Georgia, South and Central
Yeah.
Georgia. So that should be cool.
Awesome. I've been looking to go over there to the A. I have a lot of good friends over there. I have a radio station that I collab with sometimes, and I do events with them up there. And I know that they also have some good fighters that come down to Florida, that
Hmm.
they fly out sometimes. So it'll be great so they can have their hometown, be their hometown hero for one night at a combat night. That would be great. So shout out to Richard for always hooking up the best cards. So like,
That guy is phenomenal. I mean, he puts together such good
yeah, he
fights
is.
all the
He's a
time. He
magician.
really's got his finger on the pulse in the fight scene in Florida and in South and Central Georgia. So I'm glad he's getting that chance. I got to work with him in Georgia a couple months ago, because a lot of people don't know this about Richard, but he also runs a professional wrestling promotion. They don't run very often, but Pose, Progressive Organized Sports Entertainment is what it's called. And he and I had been talking about it for a while, and he finally had a chance to bring me out a few months ago to ring announce and do commentary for the product. And it was cool. And I'll tell you, Lisa, when it comes to wrestling, I don't know what the fight fans are like in Georgia when it comes to mixed martial arts and kickboxing and grappling, but I can tell you that fans for professional wrestling in Georgia are like next level,
Yeah.
especially compared to fans here in Florida. That's not to knock anybody, but Florida, I work in wrestling and in MMA, for those that don't kind of know all of my background. but like the fight scene in Florida when it comes to combat night and the combat sports and MMA is great. Like all the fans are really in it and all the time. But in professional wrestling, for whatever reason, with some exceptions, it feels like fans are not like always with it. Like they'll come to see, but they're spoiled. Like WWE has their performance center in Orlando. AEW has been running the whole last year in Jacksonville. Like they've got all the best, and there's like a million promotions in Florida. And I think everybody's spoiled
Yeah.
here in Florida. And you got a mixed, a mixed crowd of people because everybody's, not everybody's from here. So people are from all over the place. But in Georgia, I've worked in Georgia. I kind of broke out in Georgia, in Atlanta. The fans in Georgia are amazing. I love working in Georgia. When it comes to pro wrestling, that's like my favorite place to work because it's still real to them, damn it. Like that's their whole thing.
Yeah.
And like they'll sit. I did a show. Actually, my next pro wrestling show isn't until August, believe it or not, just because the way my bookings have worked out. But I'm going back to this promotion I work at in Georgia, which is one of my absolute favorites to work for, called Viral Pro Wrestling. And they're finally going back to their home venue for the first time in over a year. But I remember the last show I did for them, I was really fascinated by it because I was sitting back near the commentary table next to the commentators. I was just ring announcing the show, and I'm watching the match, and I'm watching the crowd, and everybody, the place was like sold out. We had like 300-400 people, and everybody was sitting like,
Wow.
not looking on their phones, not sitting on their hands, like completely immersed and invested, and they reacted to everything, and they're just fun. So getting a chance to do more stuff in Georgia is definitely on my list of things to do, and I'm glad Richard is getting to branch out and raise the banner for Combat Night in the Peach State, because I think it'll be great.
Yeah, and I know that I previously went to one of your events for Generation Championship Wrestling, and I actually enjoyed it. I was there, and I met a couple wrestlers, and I got a feel for the environment. And I mean, I've also been to like WWE events, and it's electric. The fans are about a good time. They love the backstories and the dramas and the outfits and the walkout songs. And, everybody loves a good John Cena fight, And wrestling, I feel like, yeah, wrestling fans have a lot of heart. Like you really have to believe in wrestling. It's not like, mixed martial arts, you have technique. You're either good at it or you're bad at it, But wrestling, it's all about the persona and also how you reach out to your fans. And that's what I love about wrestling. And so tell us a little bit about GCW.
Well, GCW, actually, sad to say, I'm not going to be at their next event. It's on July 10th. It's a 3-year anniversary. I wish I was, but it just worked out with my summer. And full disclosure, I'm going on vacation with my wife and kids. Like I miss every weekend. I miss all kinds of stuff. That was literally the only weekend my entire summer with all the bookings I have where I could have done it. And I just had that one show. And I talked with Jeremy Gomez, who's the promoter, and he and I are on the booking team together. So I'm still helping book that show and make sure we have all the pieces in place and all the people on the roster that we need. But I won't be there. But that's actually going to be in that same venue that you came out to in Tampa. It's going to be that's going to be our new permanent home. We've moved around looking for a kind of a permanent place to kind of set up shop. And we were in Sanford for a while. Sanford was cool. I liked it because it's like an hour from my house. So now when we go to Tampa, that's like 3 hours. So that's a little bit more of a shot. But you want to be in this business. It's what they say is do the drives, right? You can't complain about it. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, make it happen.
But their 3-year anniversary show is coming up. I know. I don't think you got to see any of the GCW shows specifically while you were there because you missed my early morning show, which how dare you? Best in class.
I had to work.
It was, I tell you what, that was an amazing experience. I mean, I booked the entire show. I put together all the sponsors for it. It was a one-off for me. It was like we had a spot early in the morning where people kind of wanted to work and get a chance to be highlighted that maybe don't normally get that shot. So we did that. It was wildly successful. It was really, really fun. And I would have liked it a little more full in the morning, but it was a 10 a.m. show. And we still had quite a few people there, and it was great. And we had Leo Rush, who just recently said he's retiring. So we got a chance to have him in one of his last matches, and he was in WWE, and him and Casey Navarro put on an absolute banger of a match. It was amazing. And it's on the GCW Generation Championship Wrestling YouTube channel. But I love working with them. I work with a lot of different promotions here in Florida, but it's one thing you were saying before, the backstory and all that. I think MMA, those who are the most successful, when you think about it, like the biggest names, the biggest draws in the sport, what is it that they do different than the people that are just there just for technique and all that? What would you say it is?
They
Like, what is
have
it about a Conor McGregor, for example?
they have persona. They have, I mean, everybody knows the Conor McGregor walk, like
Right.
yeah,
Which is
everybody
the Vince
knows it.
McMahon walk. He straight up stole it from Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Um, but it's what sells tickets, and technique really only gets you so far. Like, I know it's different in mixed martial arts than it is pro wrestling, but those that are at the top, that are making the most money, that are getting the biggest endorsement deals and everybody's their eyes are on, are taking a page out of old school pro wrestling. Ric Flair kind of paved the way for guys like Conor McGregor to be the trash talking guys that he is, because Conor's good and people want to see him, but people either want to tune in and see him beat somebody, or people more likely want to tune in to see him get his face smashed in. And there's value in that. Either way, he's selling tickets. Floyd Mayweather
Yeah.
in boxing does the exact same thing. That guy
Yeah.
laughed all the way to the bank a couple weeks ago because
Yeah.
he knew just his name attached to it, the trash talk, the nonsense. He
Easy
didn't
money.
care what the quality of that fight was. It didn't
Easy
matter.
money.
He's gonna count his money all the way to the bank and laugh the whole way. And next time he does it, bunch of dopes are going to buy that fight too. He's got to figure it out. It's old school pro wrestling. It really does bleed into all the combat sports these days.
That's so crazy. Yeah, I could not even like bring myself to watch that fight. I couldn't. I was like, why? I mean, I get the hype and social media, the little, the pause, whatever. They're doing a whole good thing about like promoting themselves and getting money. Good for
Good for
them. I mean,
them.
I
Good for
can't hate on
them.
that. Good for them,
Man, you and I both are trying to
And they
figure out
train.
that
I gotta
formula.
say, they do train. They do
Yeah.
train. Obviously, to put yourself in front of great fighters like that, you're risking your life, number one,
Right.
and number two, your face, your integrity, your respect. But obviously, they make sure that they train with the best, so that way they can put up in the ring. So I gotta give them what they got. I gotta give them their props. So shout out to you guys.
I don't hate on it. I don't. Like, good for them. Make your money, fellas. Like, again,
Right? I'm
you and
sleeping.
I are trying out here, grinding in these streets. So we get it. Like, good for them. We can only hope that I'll stand in front of whoever to get paid the kind of
Yeah.
money they have paid, whatever it
Right, for
takes.
real. Sign me up. Yeah, sign me up. I'm next. No, yeah, but I mean, I'm excited. I'm so glad. I'm like, I love your outfits every time I get to see you. Like, it's
I'm
a
sorry I'm
challenge.
disappointing you here this morning.
No,
I
I like
am wearing
Chill
my wife's
Graper.
shirt. I'm wearing my wife's Cakes by Shanna shirt, as I'm repping the missus
Nice.
today.
Ah, that's right. Promos. That's how
That's
you
right.
do.
That's right. Don't ever forget. Don't ever forget to put those
Never.
over who matter.
Exactly. Exactly. You gotta be up there. You forgot to market me.
Oh
Ugh.
man, can't forget that. Nope.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about how it is that you put together the Matt Graifer outfits. So you have like a design team. Is there like an entourage of people to help you?
So
I'm sure that there's people that wonder that question too.
so first of all, there are no Matt Gray. Like, you're looking at a Matt Graifer outfit right now. All right. And but
Sure.
nobody pays to see Matt Graifer. They don't. And I figured that out years ago. They pay to see the young professor. They pay to
Mhm.
see that name. And it doesn't make sense because there's really no difference. There's no character or anything attached to that name, but it's more of a brand. My name is very vanilla. Like, I like my name. I'm not looking to give it up or anything like that. But when you're Matt, you introduce yourself as Matt to people. It's Mike or Mark. Like, people forget immediately. Like, it's out the door already. But I was a college professor at 25 years old. So that's literally what I was doing. And I was hosting trivia, and I was trying to build more of a following there. So I came up with the gimmick name of the young professor, because I was like, most of my students were older than me. And it was very strange for a long time. And so I came up with that. And that's where the persona came from. And originally, like in trivia, I used to just I would wear different things that had question marks on them, right? Like, I had a lot of like Mario block question mark. I had a
Yeah.
lot of the Riddler gear. I even got
The
these cool
Riddler. Yeah.
Riddler Converse shoes.
Ooh.
Yeah. Actually, yeah, I got one right here. Matter of fact, it's gonna knock down my whole deal. But like I used to rock these like
Nice.
Riddler shoes and all that. So like the gimmick kind of started that way.
Nice.
And then I got into wrestling like a year or so later and started there. And I didn't have a look. I was just the young professor, and I would wear a sport coat and a polo and dress pants, and it wasn't much, but I started to refine my craft, and I kind of worked it like that for a year. I would occasionally wear a suit, but I was working at a promotion that was a little smaller, and I didn't really think to kind of put more of it together. But about a year in, like I started in January. The next year, that next January, I bought my first like fancy tuxedo jacket. Like it was like paisley and patterned, and I bought two of them. I think a blue one and a red one. So they were the first two in the lineup. And I wore it, and I liked the look. A lot of people liked the look, and so I started more of those. Found out they were not ridiculously expensive, at least some of them, to get a hold of. So I kind of
Mhm.
started building that way. I also got a few like tailored nice suits that I wore. Like my first suit ever at combat night was a nice tailored blue suit, because when I first talked to Mitchell, I was like, what do you want me to wear? Like, I've got some stuff that's
Yeah.
kind of colorful, and I've got some stuff that's kind of reserved. And he said, well, I
Yeah.
don't want to get too crazy. Like,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
just go with more
The
reserved. I was like, all
typical
right, cool. And
blue.
he and I were
Yeah.
basically wearing like the same outfit. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
he wears the
Yeah.
blue
Everybody
with the
knows the
brown
Mitch
shoes. It
blue
was a good
suit.
look.
Yeah. He either has the blue
Right.
suit or the
Right.
burgundy one. Yeah, I got you.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, I don't want to wear the same outfit as a promoter moving forward. And I just started getting more of those colorful jackets and kind of putting together more combinations. And then at some point I started peppering in the shoes, and the shoes is
Yeah.
what kind of shot it off. Like I
Mhm.
found out all these shiny, like they make size 13 men's shoes in every bedazzled color of the rainbow. Who knew? But I started picking those up, and they started popping off, and people liked it. They started digging
Yeah.
it. And so I
Yeah.
just kind of started steadily getting more. I've got a good relationship with a tuxedo shop here in town in Palm Coast, to the point where they hook me up almost at wholesale price, because I do so much business with them. And
Yeah.
it's turned into pretty cool stuff. So that's where the young professor look came. You know, it was a matter of building the skills first, of being a skilled ring announcer, you know, kind of putting
Mhm.
together like all the minutia, the little things that I wanted to do. And then being good at that is not good enough. It's what's that next level. And the next level was dressing it up and kind of modeling guys like Bruce Buffer and some of the more colorful announcers that are typically in boxing and in
Yeah.
MMA.
Yeah. I mean, well, you do stand out, and you do have an amazing voice in the ring.
Well,
You
thank
just
you.
bring that energy. You do. You bring the energy to combat night. I love the moment that you're like about to start the show. Like you have that one moment to grasp everybody and set the tone for the night, and like you do. Depending on the venue and what time it is, and like how many people are in the room. But not even that. It could be like 15 people in the room. You're still giving that energy. So, I appreciate you for that. So, I mean, how many events do you do in a month?
Between 20 and 30, usually, when you put them all together. I mean, I'm counting trivia in there too, which, in normal months is like 2 or 3 a week, a couple weeknights, and then usually Friday, Saturday, sometimes Sunday bookings. It depends, but for the last few months, I mean, this month at the end of June, I got to look through the calendar. It's pretty close. I'd say it's got to be 25 or north of 25, because now that I'm with the Daytona Tortugas, the minor league baseball team for the Cincinnati Reds, they'll do 6 games in a row. So I'll
Mhm.
do 6 events in a week with them. And sometimes Mondays are kind of my day off, but that's not a guarantee either. Sometimes I'll get stuff there. So it's quite a few. I've done stuff where I've done multiple events in one day. So it's between 20 and 30 events a month. And at the lowest end, the slowest times a year, it's like 15 or so.
Wow, you're a busy man. And I'm sure they're all over the state too.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're not always close to home. But what's cool living where I live in Palm Coast, like I'm 30 minutes north of Daytona, and I'm an hour away from Jacksonville. Jacksonville's north an hour. Orlando is southwest, hour and a half. 3 hours from Tampa. I'm 3 hours from South Florida. I'm 4 hours from Miami. I'm 3.5 hours from Tallahassee. I'm only 4, 5, 6, 7 hours tops to Atlanta, so I'm within reasonable driving distance from pretty much all the places that are big enough cities that you can work. I work Ocala, that's an hour and a half. So I'm in a good spot where it's manageable for me to get places, and I can throw on some good podcasts. I can put on some motivational stuff and kind of learn as much as I can while I'm on the road. And so I'm constantly learning and working, really.
Wow, man, I wish that I had that hustle. I mean, I'm catching up. I'm starting to get offers here and there, different promotions, and I'm starting to travel all over the state as well. So I'm having fun along the way. But let's move on to another subject that is probably one of the funniest. I want to talk about your previous beef with David Van Alken because today I
Previous,
called
I
him
thought it
out.
was I thought it was still
It's still
on.
ongoing? Oh God.
I don't know that it was ever put to rest. I think he just got quiet. So, I mean, fair enough.
Oh my gosh. And then today I called him out because like he lost a bet on my show that he would wear one of my shirts. And so I sent him the shirt finally that it came out. And I want to say he got it like a week ago. So then I know this is fight weekend for a lot of different promotions. So I called him out like, we ain't gonna wear the shirt. I didn't think
He's
he
gonna.
thought that was coming today.
I bet you after what I wrote to him, he'll wear the yellow jacket over it. I bet this time, just to pretend like he actually wears that color frequently or something like that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember seeing the beat. Like I don't even know. Like I remember seeing the video of David, like kind of mentioning you in the yellow jacket, and I'm like, I mean, Graifer is kind of known for wearing
colorful
extravagant
stuff. Yeah,
stuff. So I'm like,
yeah.
I don't think that was out of ordinary to me.
No,
Now,
it wasn't.
I wouldn't say to me, I think that you have like just a very style. Like I didn't think it was like yellow is your immediate go-to color. But then, obviously fight bananas, and obviously the color yellow
Right.
goes with the banana. So that also ties into a color that they can represent. Why not? And I thought he looked nice in the jacket too, because David's nice looking fellow as well. And then I'm like, ooh, celebrity beef, who wore it best, basically, is my
It,
mindset. So then
it
I
was
just wrote
fun for a
the
couple weeks.
story.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was fun for a couple weeks going back and forth. Yeah, I don't know. I just wore it to a combat night event. I had worn that particular combination to Viral Pro Wrestling like a year ago, and
Yeah.
because their primary color is yellow, and so I was like, let me break out these yellow shoes and this yellow jacket. And their promoter and their owner who comes out, he wears a yellow tie, so I didn't want to wear a yellow tie, so I popped it with a red tie, which I got enough like ketchup and mustard remarks from my wife and kids, and so I was like, I don't care, it looks good. I'll take
Yeah.
this Ronald McDonald ensemble and take it to the moon.
Right.
But
Right.
I wore it to combat night, and it looked great, and there were a lot of really good photos that came out of it from multiple photographers. And when they went up, he just started chiming in because he had worn one yellow jacket. They used to, I think, tag him to ring announce once in a while, which, sorry, I took your job there, pal. But I guess he started taking issue with it and started having some things to say, and all of a sudden blew the dust off his yellow jacket and started wearing it. And so we went back and forth a little bit. We made a couple videos for each other, and I let him know I've got
Yeah.
like 3 or 4 like actually
Yeah.
yellow jackets. I got the shoes. I was like, man, don't
Yeah.
open this can of
You
worms. You
did the
don't want this smoke.
TikToks. I mean,
Right.
it was
Yeah.
going. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I was dying laughing. The
Yeah. My wife,
TikToks, the
somehow somebody,
stickers came out.
yep, on my on my social media was gonna, and this girl that used to be my wife's student was like, hey, we have this banana costume. I saw what professor's doing. Could you use it? And I was like, yes, we could absolutely use that banana costume for something. And so one of my kids wanted to wear it so I could spear them into the couch at the end of the video. And so it was that's what we used it for. But it's still here. in case I need to do a little more trash talking with David Van Auken, which he's welcome to come out to a Daytona Tortugas game. I know he's a Volusia County guy. I know he lives in Port Orange. So if you got something, brother, you want to come out and say something in general, we can have a showdown right on the field in front of 1,000 of our friends. We can do it. We can invite the fight community out. I'm laying the gauntlet down now. If you want some, brother, you can come and get some. Bring your best yellow. The loser has to wear this out. How about that? I'll wear it. You know I will. I don't give a damn. But let's see if I want you to do one of your interviews in it. So
oh no. We got an official call out here.
Let's do that now. You know what? That wasn't where I thought this would go today, but why the hell not? That's kind of how you and I started talking in the first place.
Yeah.
And you put up a poll with the two of us, and I was like, oh no, because like I figured you were in league with him, and I was like, oh, all his friends are gonna vote on it, but everybody voted for me, and I was like, yes, the champ is here, brother. That's right.
Honestly, I was featured on Kat Nelson's show, which was under the Fight Bananas Network. And she was on one of mine right when we first started, with our episodes. And so, they promoted me for that one episode, but then like you kind of tied us in together. And I'm like, no, I'm my own like network, like my own thing. Let's not get it twisted. And I think that like after that, you were like, okay. I could be a little sassy sometimes. So it comes with the package.
I understand. I hear you. But yeah, that's how you and I like kind of met, like, and started interacting. Was I think through all that, which was funny.
And then I would see you at Combat Night. Yeah, then I started at Combat Night right after.
Right.
We took our picture and we were like looking good. So I think David had to lose that one, but we'll see about this call out now.
Hey, let's see if he does it. Look, he's just got to come down the road. He's got to just buy a ticket, and I'll put together some stuff. We'll make an event out of it if we want. Like we can have some fun. I have some creative liberty to do that sort of thing, so we can have a showdown on the field and do a couple different activities and have some fun and sell some tickets and get people out to have a good time. I think that's the name of the game, and I'm sure he's down for that sort of thing too. So, let's see what he has to say. See if he'll put his money where his mouth is. Yeah, I think so. We got some potential here. The wheels are turning. He has no idea, but maybe he'll come around. We'll see. We'll see what he's got. We're making plans without him.
Yeah, little does he know. The wheels are turning. The kettle is a burning.
Yep, stirring it up. That's right.
Oh, Matt, I have enjoyed this conversation the second time around, of course.
Yeah.
Our first episode was having a little bit of technical difficulties on my end, of course.
This one was better anyway. This was better. Or I think so, right?
Yeah, you're a little bit more relaxed. Me too. And I wasn't rushing to go get an oil change. So
yeah. Yep.
I had a good time. I appreciate you. So I wish you lots of luck on your event tonight. I will be at Submission Grappling Series. And is there anything you want to say to the viewers or anybody you'd like to thank?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. Be safe on your travels today. The rain has been awful this weekend, so just be safe. You know how them Florida drivers are. Wild, wild, I tell you. But for those that are following, just follow The Young Professor. You can find me there on Facebook, on Instagram and Twitter. You can search The Young Professor. You'll find me, but the handle's there on Twitter. It's at Young Professor G, and on Insta, it's at MG The Young Professor. Right now, I don't know when is this airing? Do you know? Is it this weekend? I got shirts on sale now. Yeah. Okay. Well, if you see this today, my link tree that's in my Instagram, and I actually put some up on my Facebook. My T-shirts are on sale, including this one for my wife's place, Cakes by Shanna. You can get all those for $13. We got hoodies. We got those aren't $13. We got hoodies. We got tank tops. We got T-shirts in every shape and color of the rainbow. All that good stuff. Phone cases, computer cases, you name it. But yeah, follow me there. And heck, if you want to look like you sound like the Young Professor. So David Van Auken, I'm talking to you. You want to practice your skills, you can hit me up and DM me and pick up a Young Professor microphone. How about that?
You heard it here first, folks. We got a call out. We got merch. Hit it up. Hit up the link tree. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Lisa with the Z podcast. Have a good one, folks.